Are you tired of the same old villagers? Well, I think my channel members were, because they've suggested for Channel Members Tuesday that we take a look at the Villagers Plus 2.0 add-on by Kubo Studios. Coming in at 990 mine tokens, this add-on takes up 14 megabytes of size. But are these villagers worth gathering together and gossiping about? Or are we dealing with a bunch of nitwits? So to cover the Villager Plus add-on, we're going to have to go about this slightly differently. While we're going to start by looking at the book, we're then going to look at both structures and villagers together, because you can't really look at villagers without looking at structures, and that's going to be a massive section of the video. We're then going to look at the brand new blocks that you get, the brand new weapons, and the brand new items. So if you'd like to jump ahead to any of the chapters, please do feel free to. All I ask is that you leave a like on the video, drop a comment, let me know what you think of the add-on, and if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. But if you want to join along with the journey with me, then let's go. Now, when you load into a world with the Villagers Plus add-on, you're given the guidebook. Now, this guidebook cannot be placed in an item frame, which is why we're using a chest. You can place the guidebook down, and it's one of those floating books, and it starts by saying, "Welcome. Decorate the center of your village with the village landmark and invite various villagers from alternative realms who won't keep disappearing with this add-on." Sounds like they're firing some shots there, but I'm not too sure. Now you can leave your village peacefully to explore other biomes without worrying about hostile entities raiding it, by inviting tankers, guardians, wizards, and more. In this book, we're going to be looking at mobs, decorations, foods, consumables, and weapons, and there are also icons for health points, invitation limits, attack points, and behaviors, so just bear that in mind. Now, as I was reading this book, it seems a little bit outdated, and we'll get into why shortly. If you wanted to craft this book, it's 2 pieces of paper and some wheat, because whenever I read a book, it's using wheat. And then it tells you how to navigate it, it tells you about all of the sections, and there's a neat little feature that if you have the book placed down, crouch and interact, you can jump to the sections using the buttons. So there is always that there, and you can see we've got credits, change logs, consumables, all sorts. But we're going to carry on using the book as such. So it tells you about the village landmark. Now, the village landmark is a placeable landmark or structure that you can use, and there's a few of them. We'll go through them in the structures section, which is next. But there's a few of them of different building styles, and these are used as the center point of the village. So think of them like the bell in a standard Minecraft village. But when you have it down, you can then adjust a number of things that we'll get into, and you can use it to spawn, or in this case, invite regular or advanced villagers. Also, there will be visitors that will spawn, but we'll get into all of that. It says that you can invite a regular villager using an iron invitation, and you can invite an advanced villager using an emerald invitation, which again, we'll get to. It also tells you that some of the villagers will have behaviors that can only be accessed by interacting to the village landmark. Hopefully we'll be able to make sense of all of that. Then there is a guild landmark, and this is similar to the village landmark in that they are placeable, but there are only 4 different types. And unfortunately, I think there's a bit of an error in here, because it talks about using the invite villager item, but I'll show you later. I think you actually have to use the invite advanced villager item on a decoration, which it says you need to interact with a decoration to bring villagers into your guild landmark. It's all very complicated, I'm not going to lie. It does also say that visitors cannot be invited to your guild landmark, only villagers. And there are different options for the villagers when you interact with them in the guild. And you need to do so by going through what's called a guild recipient, or potentially even a guild receptionist. But again, we're going to get into all of this. We then have the crafting recipes for the iron and emerald invitation. So 1 is a load of paper, 6 pieces and 1 iron ingot, and 1 is 6 pieces of paper and an emerald. They will then give you either the invite regular villager item, which looks like a totem, or it will give you an invite advanced villager item, which looks like a diamond totem. They then go in to tell you about all of the regular villagers and how they have a behavior which is considered uninvolved, which means they can't harm or be harmed by anything. We have regular villagers like so, and then we have advanced villagers. Now, the advanced villagers have different behaviors. They can either be merchants, which can't be harmed and will provide trade offers, or they can be fighters or support style villagers, which will either fight or assist you with anything they're instructed to, and can also be recruited. You will end up with an artisan villager. You could have a bard villager or a brute villager. We can have builder villagers or cavalry villagers, chef villagers and craftsman villagers, deserter villagers and dwarf villagers, farmer villagers or guardian villagers, healer villagers or hunter villagers, ronin villagers or tanker villagers, unknown traders or wizard villagers as well. And now with some of these villagers, they will help you in battle, whether fighting for you or just supporting you. And if some of them, not all of them, but if some of them are downed in battle, you can hand them food and it will restore their HP, essentially reviving them. Then next up, we find out about visitors. Now, visitors are very similar to the wandering trader. They will appear rarely in your villager landmark or your village area, and they will appear for 5 minutes and then leave. When you are using a visitor, if you've recruited them to help you and they are killed in battle, they will automatically revive themselves. You don't need to give them food. So in regards to the visitors, we have Alice, we have Elias, we have Hokaru, we also have Lynx and Midas. We then go through the book and it tells us all about the weapons and how to use them. Same again here, along with some shields. And then we find out about items as well, which we'll be looking at further along in the video. We then are asked to rate it and we find out about their credits here as well. And that's the book. So just to be aware, this book is very much outdated. There are other sections in this add-on that are not covered in the book. Somewhat so, like blueprints, for instance, and we'll be looking at those in today's video. So why don't we start by going and have a look at both the structures and the new villages that you get in this add-on. Do you need even more Dazman in your life? Well, I mean, who doesn't? Well, this isn't the only channel to find me. I have multiple channels, all doing different things. Aside from here on the Dazman channel, I also have the Dazman Reacts channel, where I react to pack combinations and even the odd Minecraft trailer, as well as having marketplace creator interviews, and I'm also building an actions and stuff compatibility list, so I post my findings in episodes there as well. Or maybe you want to see me play other games. Well, the best place for that is Dazman Plays, where I play multiple games at the same time. Or how about Dazman Football, where I play football games, or even Dazman Wrestling, where I hope to play more wrestling games in the future. And that's not it. I also have a website, dazman.gg, where you can find my entire texture pack review database, written reviews, written creator interviews, and it's the home of that actions and stuff compatibility list, and my official podcast. You can also see pack waiting lists and my weekly schedule. But if you want to support me, we also have the merch store at dazman.gg/merch and the Patreon account at patreon.com/thedazman, where you can support the individual channels or multiple channels at once. Or maybe you want to consider becoming a channel member here on YouTube by clicking join on this channel or the Dazman Reacts channel. There's got to be some version of the Dazman for you. So we're going to start this section then by looking at the village landmarks. So you can craft this item in my inventory now, which is simply called the village landmark, and it will allow you to pick from one of 6 different options. So I'm just going to fly past them here for you so you can see this one here, which seems to have like a big fluffy cat in it. We've got this one here, which is a big statue of a geezer on a horse looking awesome with the gold. We've got the little statue here of, he looks like he's thinking, but honestly, I can't unsee that he's sitting on a toilet. So there we go, made of copper. We've got this super cool looking thing here as well with the animation and the motion looking amazing. We've then also got this one, which is supposed to be futuristic. And we have this one here, which is more of a steampunk feel, and it also has some animation to it. So what we can do is pretend that I've just placed one down. In fact, we don't need to pretend. If we head over here, I'll place one down just to show you. So with the village landmark, you just plonk it down and you can choose from the 6 that you would like. Choose any. I'll choose the Japanese altar here, and there it is. Now, if we just head over here, we can go to my little display area. So we've already seen that this is the Japanese altar. Now, whether you have something in your hand or not, it doesn't matter, but you can walk up to it, press interact, and it will give you the menu. Now, we can see that this is currently owned by me, and this add-on is very multiplayer friendly. You have the ability to change your landmark access from private to public. If it's private, only you can handle it. If it's public, I believe other people can. I don't really play with friends, so I have no idea. This is going to be a solo version. But what you can do is go into landmark design and you can change it if you wish. So maybe I want a Midas touch. I can change it. So you're not locked in to whichever one you choose. If we go back into landmark design, I can put back the Japanese altar here. There we go. So this is the Japanese altar. We have the futuristic. The statue was called Midas touch. The guy on the toilet was the copper thinker. The floating moving one was the monolith. And then the one at the end was the steampunk. We do also have more settings as well, which allows you to rename it. So I can rename it from Japanese altar and I can turn on the name tag. So this is home because I'm on creative. Home, show name tag, submit. And if I step back, is there a name tag anywhere? Not from afar. Get up close. Right, well, if there is a name tag, I can't see it. So I don't know where the name tag's gone, but it's not there. That's a bit disappointing at this point. I can't see it. I definitely turned it on. Landmark design, more settings, rename, show name tag, submit. It's been changed to home, but I don't see the name tag. That's unfortunate. Also, if we go into more settings, we can then rotate it. If you hit it, which I'm guessing is my R2 button, it will turn it. There we go. So if I punch it, it will rotate it. And then I guess if I step too far back, or if I press L2 on it, it will set. So that is the landmark. And if we go further down, we can tell how big of an area we want it to be. So currently, it's only covering one chunk. That means that when you place things around it, it will only be affected by one chunk around it. And also, if you want to place down other villages, they'll have to be outside of that one chunk. This can be increased all the way up to 9 chunks if you want it to be. Also, the default is that it can take 30 villages in its population. This can also be increased or decreased from 50 all the way down to, I'm guessing 10. Yes, 10. I'm going to keep it on 30 here. So we can have 30 custom villages in this village. And you can see that here on the home menu underneath my name. We can also see a list of available villages. We haven't spawned any in, so we don't need to look at that right now. We have landmark locations, which will tell you where all of my other landmarks are. And unfortunately, the one I renamed home isn't named home, which again is another disappointment, I'm afraid. But if we was to click into, say, Midas touch, which we know is next, we can teleport to it, or we can rename it from here too. So if I teleport, I'm now here. So there's some good functionality, some good teleporting and waypoint area stuff, but it is a little bit clunky in what it can and doesn't do. We also have the ability to demolish it. But the one that we want to look at right now is the invite villagers. So if we click on invite villagers, we do have an option to invite a regular villager or an advanced villager. Now to do these, we're going to need either an iron invitation or an emerald invitation. Now if I throw these down for a second and we try to do it without either of those, if we go into invite villager and I click regular villager, it will have an error saying you don't have any iron invitation. And the same thing will occur if I do advanced, it will say I don't have an emerald one. So we take these, which we would have created. That was 6 pieces of paper and either an iron or an emerald. We're going to interact. We're going to go to invite villager and I'm going to click regular villager. My iron invitation has now changed into an invite regular villager. So with that in hand, I can now invite them. If I click here, I can choose to name it. So I'm going to call this one Bob, because why not? And then I can choose the type. So for regular villagers, we have a futuristic villager, a Japanese villager, a medieval villager, a modern villager, a neutral villager, or a steampunk villager. I suppose these are very much close to all of the different villages that you can make. So I'm going to make a Japanese one. You can turn on whether it's roaming or not. So I'm going to turn off roaming here and I'm going to invite. And we get one. And there's Bob. Name tag working, absolutely fine. And because I turned off roaming, he should just stand still. If I interact with him, he is a talker. And he says, I was deciding between beetroot salad and carrot pasta for today. That's it. You can do it again and it's another conversation saying, hi, are you new here too? And I do it again. Greetings, are you the adventure everyone's been talking about recently? I talked to those humble looking brutes yesterday, asked for protection and they just laughed. I've never done any trading before, so it'll cycle through a few different ones. Now, you don't know what he's doing there. How you doing? You having fun? Cool. If I try to invite another one, this one we'll call Baz or Barry. And we'll do another Japanese villager. And we will have him not roaming as well. Invite. You'll see that there are variations. So when it talks about having 50 plus or however many plus villagers that are included, a lot of it is variations. If I talk to this guy, he is also a talker. So he doesn't seem to have any profession. Next up, what we can do is bring in another one. So this one, I'm not even going to bother naming. We've got a futuristic villager and I'll set him to roaming. And we can see this guy should be about to walk. There we go. And we can see as well, these are very Minecraftian in feel. They definitely feel like the Minecraft villagers, but their outfits will incorporate what they do. The futuristic villager, who just says villager over his name because that's his name. If we come over here and click that, he's also just a talker. Fair dues. Next up, we're going to bring in a medieval villager. And remember, there are variations to these guys. So this one here is a medieval. We're going to talk to him. He's also just a talker. There we go. And we can see him looking very vanilla in feel. Grab another one, which would be a modern villager. Invite. This guy's got his little dungarees on. How you doing, mate? He's got some glasses on as well. Hey, slow down, bud. Slow down. There we go. He's definitely a worker, isn't he? He's definitely a worker. Talk to him. Nope, just a talker. Okay. And then next up, we have the neutral villager. I'm going to turn off roaming for this one so we can just see him. He's very Minecrafty and very vanilla-esque. Just a villager. These guys, to me, seem to be on par with nitwits in that they're just talkable, really. And then lastly, then, we have the steampunk villager. I'll turn off roaming and I'll invite him. And we'll see here, this one with his nice little hair. How you doing, buddy? He's getting pushed away, I think, by that guy. Do you mind? He wasn't a roamer. You don't need to move him. Sorry about that, buddy. And he is also just a talker. So what can we do with these guys then? If we click into here, we can go to available villagers. And we can see we've got Bob, Baz, villager, 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 and villager. I'm not a creative guy. What we'll do here is go to Bob. And we can change his name. We can see his health at the top there and who invited him. We can see his appearance and we can change which one we want. So you can see there are 5 different Japanese villagers. If I click that one, we go and find Bob. Where's Bob? Are you Bob? You are Bob. We can change which ones we want. So we've got customization ability. Very nice. Very happy with that. Very happy with that. But what else can we do? So Bob, we can set him to roaming or turn it off. We're not stuck to that decision. We can turn on or off whether or not Bob actually talks to us. We can teleport to them and we can recall them. So if I turn off dialogues, which we can see has happened there, and we come out of here and I click on Bob now, nothing happens. So these guys, all of them are literally just talkers when it comes to a village landmark, which is a little bit boring, I have to say, but you can see we've got 7 population and we can still change the landmark designs. Now, one thing I want to do, if you will allow me, is I want to leave the world and come back. So bear with me a second. So I left the world, I've come back, and what I wanted to do was just see, yes, the name tags do stick. So Bob is still there, villager is still villager, villager is still villager, and these guys are all still villagers. I always worry when it comes to this kind of stuff that they won't be. But yeah, Standard villagers, a little bit boring, not really much to do. They just kind of add life to the world. Now, if we leave this one and we head down here, because I'm getting a bit of lag joining the new world again, what I want to do is go to the geezer on the toilet. How you doing, buddy? And if we was to try and then invite an advanced villager, if my world could catch up. I think this is more Bedrock issues than add-on issues, because Bedrock is incredibly broken. If we go to advanced villager, you'll see it would have changed to an invite advanced villager. Now on here, we can click in and it's the same pretty much UI, but this time we've got artisan villagers, bard villagers, brute villagers, builders, cavalry, chefs, craftsmen, deserters, dwarfs, farmers, guardians, healers, hunters, ronins, tankers, unknown traders, and wizards. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make you watch me spawn in each of these guys. I'll spawn in the first, like so. He's not roaming. He's looking very dapper, very nice. If I click onto him, we can trade with this guy. So he's not just a talker. We can apparently trade an artifact katana and we can get an heirloom katana. So we can upgrade weapons. Heirloom katana can become an artifact katana. I guess we can downgrade weapons as well, potentially. We can also change a carbon hammer to a, if I can keep hovering over it, game, please. Please, game. Dark iron hammer, and then back again from dark iron to carbon, and so on and so forth. So this guy will sell us the custom, or will upgrade our custom weapons and downgrade them again. Interesting. Like I said, I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me spawn all of them. So let me spawn in one of each and we'll look at all of them next. So I've spawned in all of the different villages then. And while none of them have got any roaming UI turned on, these ones over here are becoming a little bit difficult to use. You see, they're now inside each other, which is a bit annoying. And it's all because of this guy. But we'll get to that in a second. So just hopefully we won't lose him. We start with a bard villager here who will play a bit of music. You interact with him and you can have him set to protect passive mobs or other players. You can turn that on or off and hit submit. You can also recruit him. Now, I'm not really sure what that does at the moment, but we will explore that soon. We then have a brute villager, which again can do the same thing. This guy has 100 out of 100. He can also target hostile mobs and neutral mobs, as the bard is going to start singing and playing a tune. So some of them are more protectors, some of them are more attackers. We have a builder villager here who we can trade with, and he will trade white concrete and pale oak, or different types of oak here, to get blueprints. More of those shortly. We then also have, like I said, the cavalry over here, which is health 70, and we can set him to target, and again he'll attack or defend if we tell him to, and he comes with his own little horse, which he sometimes gets on. And it seems like when somebody's touched these guys, or if I interact with them, maybe because I've recruited them, they start to move, but it all becomes a bit of a panic. There you go. The cavalry has now jumped on top of his horse, which allows me to look at the chef, who I can trade with for new food as well. So that's cool. You guys can literally go and jump off the cliff now, because you guys are annoying me. Next up, we have the craftsman villager, who if we interact with, gives us access to the new furniture blocks that we'll look at later. We do also have a deserter villager who we can interact with, and he will either attack or protect. He can be recruited, or we can challenge him, at which point he says, "A challenge, you say? Sure, just don't expect my clone to go easy on you. They're still my consciousness after all." And if you hit accept, a duplicate of him appears and tries to attack you. If you hit decline, well, you've just declined an attack, but you can fight his clone. We then get a dwarf villager who will trade with us for some enchanted weapons, whether that be an iron sword, a mace, diamond sword, diamond pickaxe, or even a netherite chestplate. But you would need a netherite chestplate and some breeze rods to get that enchanted. So not necessarily OP, it's more you give the item along with something and he will enchant it. Not too bad, fair dues. This ugly looking guy is the farmer villager, and he just introduced himself by removing his hat. Aren't you a dapper fellow? You click into him, you can trade with him to get certain crops and really nice food. Next up, we've got a guardian villager, and he can be a protector or a somewhat attacker. There's no passive mob option here, so he's not going to kill everybody, but he will kill some people. Looking beastie boy. We've got a healer villager who can protect and will protect passive mobs and other players. We've got a hunter villager right here who will prey on hostile or neutral mobs, which is cool. We've got a Ronin villager who will target, so he's more of an attacker here. On there, we've got tanker villagers who will protect. So you can tell straight away, some of them are attackers because they will target. Some of them are hunters who will look for prey. Some of them are protectors who will protect. We also have an unknown trader villager who will trade certain things like a netherite axe for a leather combat glove. Fair dues if you do that trade. 3 netherite ingot will also get you an archaic dagger, and 1 diamond will get you a vial of speed. Cool. And then lastly, we have a wizard villager who has 30 health and will target those as well. And now what we can do as well while we're here is just grab an advanced villager invite. And we're just going to bring in, let's see what happens if I bring in another Ronin. Are they varianced? Doesn't necessarily look like it from spawning him in. And if we click here and we go to available villagers, we can see them all on here too. And so if I was to find a Ronin like this one, you can change their appearance. So you have Yamamoto or Yasuhiko. Sure, I butchered that and I do apologize. Very, very sorry. So we've spawned in 18 villagers here. If we then go to available villagers, and who did I recruit? The Bard, I believe, right here. I have recruited him, and I think that just means he follows me around. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, one of them was following me around. If I walk off this way, yeah, see, look, the Bard is following me. So if I recruit him, he will follow. So maybe not the best one to have recruited. In fact, he's now teleported back to his spot that he was on when I said no roaming. But maybe take a big brute or something and you'll have protection as you go. And that seems to be all of the stuff for the landmarks. You can demolish as well. Now, with the villager landmark, there is also a blueprint. Well, there's 18 blueprints, in fact. And they will allow you to place other buildings and really build out your village. So if you think of it as such, where your village landmark, like this one down here, is your village bell, you can then get your buildings and build around it. Now, if I was to try and do this with a blueprint, bear with me. I just went and got a blueprint. So if we was to try and place one of these down, like so, you'll see you get a few options. So first thing to note, when you place these down, they do use the deny block, which can be a little bit annoying and potentially bug a few things. So be very careful where you place these and just make sure you're placing them correctly. I've just slapped them down, so to show you it doesn't really matter. But when you're using it, be careful. There are deny blocks being involved. And you get some interactive interfaces to play around with here. So on here, what you can do is you can choose to hit it and send it up, send it left, send it right, send it forward, send it back, or send it down. So maybe you want to hide those deny blocks, which I'm going to do a really bad job of doing, but maybe you want to. And then also you can rotate it and send it around in a circle like so. Or maybe you don't like this design, you can hit change and you can cycle through a few different designs. Now, I'm fairly certain this may have something to do with the different monoliths or different landmarks, that you get to make them on theme, but you can cycle through them and have a few different designed themes on here. And then when you've chosen the one you want, just hit confirm. 2 geezers appear out of nowhere. They'll start building it, and hopefully, yes, as we were cycling through, we were getting some ghosty blocks appear. But as it builds, these guys do their animation and those extra blocks disappear. And when they're done, they disappear. And now you have a building. And for all intents and purposes, you can click on the stuff. And I guess when you hit stuff, that will break like normal as well. So it's not just based into the building. And like I said, there are 18. Sorry, let me not tell lies. There are 18 of these different landmarks. I'll show you them in the item section, but these are how they will look. And you can cycle through and choose different ones. And if you thought that was the end of the section, no, 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 because this is also the structures section, not just the villagers section. So we have guilds as well, and that uses the guild landmark item. Luckily, there are only 4 different variations, so we don't have to go through too much. But you've got like a sand castle, you've got like this steampunky copper worldy one, you've got what looks to be a somewhat Asian themed one, and then you've got like a woodlandy mansion style one here. And if we just go into one in general, when you go in, you're met with a whole load of furniture, like chairs and tables and other sorts. And this guy right here, now he's got the name tag to say the guild receptionist. In the book, he's called the guild recipient. So another example of the book being somewhat outdated. I would like to see that updated. And when you click on him, he can change the guild from being public to private or private to public. You can see the recruits on here, which we currently don't have any. There are behaviors, so we can set the guild to be a support protect or a fighter target. I'm going to be honest, I'm not 100% certain about guilds. I think it's more multiplayer based than anything else. So this is more me just showing you it really. Hopefully you guys will be able to work it out. You can see the villager list here. Again, we don't have any. And you can demolish it if you want to. Now, in the book, it does say that you can invite regular and advanced, but you can't. If you try to invite, well, hang on a second, invite, but you can. Ah, interesting. When I tried to do this before, I couldn't. So I can invite villagers around here. I stand corrected then. In one of the other ones, it wouldn't let me. Now, the villagers, as we already know, you can just talk to them. They'll just fill out the populace. In terms of the advanced villagers, I can place them down here and invite, and they'll be just walking around like so. Or I can decide to place them directly on a chair, as you can see with the white outline. So if I click here, I can get, say, a brute villager and invite him. And now he's sitting on the chair enjoying life. I wonder, do we have anything in here? No. In the barrels? No. Nothing there either. And then if we go to the guild receptionist here, we can go to villagers list and we can see, so it's only triggered the brute villager as a villager in the guild because he's the only one sitting in the chair. So how have you two spawned? This may be a bit of a bug from me leaving and coming back in the world. If I click on this, he will still sell me stuff, but he's not a part of the guild. That's weird. So a little bit of a bug there, I think. If we go back into villagers list, we only see the brute villager and he's currently set to idle. If I click on him while he's idle, I can change his name, I can change his appearance, or I can recall him. Okay. That's interesting. If I set it to behaviors, I'm going to want him set to fighter target. I'm going to turn all of those on. Now, will he target other advanced villagers? One of those was a toggle for it. You're not doing anything. Why? What if we get ourselves a skeleton and we do this? There you go. Will you kill him? Not while you're sitting down, you won't. And the other guys don't seem to care either. Let's throw that aside. I can't click on him. I can't break the chair. Right. Give me a second. So I've messed around with some of my settings and I'm not really sure why he's not attacking. And I'm wondering what would happen if I go into survival. So now he seems to... Okay, well, he just hit me, bro. Are you a part of this guild or not? He's shooting through him. Dude, are you going to get up? No, you're just going to let him shoot through you. So what is going on? Why won't this... This is why I don't know anything about guilds. Go into creative again. What if I then... How do I... I can't seem to break the chair. How do I make you care, buddy? I interacted on him and he's... No, I didn't interact on him. That was just an animation. Okay. Guild receptionist. How do I make him do anything? Recruits. Brute villager. He is recruited. Now he's idle. Now he's recruited. Back. Villager list. Idle. I don't know how to make this work. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have no idea how to make this work. I'm not going to try and pretend that I know. I'm not going to pretend that I was able to fix it. Oh, I just punched his chair. Here we go. His chair's gone. Go get the skeleton boy. Go get him. Look, I'll break that for you. Go around. You are as dumb as you are big. Clap him. Okay, there we go. But you're just going to stand there. Go on. Okay. Yeah, go on. There we go. Oh, yeah, now you want to look at me like you're proud? You were sat down for half an hour, bro. You made me look silly in the video. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't quite get it because I spawned in an advanced villager and he's not even doing anything. He couldn't care less. I spawned in an advanced villager in a chair and he couldn't care less. But if I go here and then you've reached the limit for artisan. See, it's all a little bit fiddly that I'm not 100% sure of. So hopefully somebody can come into the comments and just let me know here. Look, Bard Villager. There. Now he's in a chair, but he doesn't seem to care. And then slowly pop that and... yeah, I don't know. I got no idea. But that right there is the guilds. And like I said, we have 4 different types. It feels buggy. It feels like there's something here that you can use, but it feels just all a little bit too buggy for me at the end of the day. And this has been a long section already, but we still have one more area to go. So we have visitors. We have Alice, Elias, Hokaru, Lynx, and Midas. Now, these guys will randomly appear at your village, and they'll appear for 5 minutes, and you can pretty much do stuff with them. So if I spawn in Alice right now, for instance, we won't rename her. We'll keep her on not roaming. Her name is Alice, and there she is. How are you? And if we interact with her, we can set her to target, and we can recruit her. Now, I don't know if when we recruit her, will she disappear in 5 minutes? Probably not, because we've now recruited her. But with this add-on, I'm just not sure. There's a few too many bugs in places. We then have Elias, who I'll invite, and he's like a floating goat man. How you doing? And he will trade with us. He will trade us some a synoptic staff or a nether star, a helmet or a scarf. These are all some really crazy trades, I'll be honest with you. Next up, we have Hokaru. We'll invite Hokaru. How you doing? This is like Wolverine's cousin right here. How you doing, buddy? And they can be a target and a recruit. We then also have a Lynx on here. How you doing, buddy? Click that, and again, target and recruit. And then we have Midas, which when we invite is target and recruit as well. So these guys will appear randomly in your village. They'll stay around for 5 minutes to give you a chance to do something with them, and then they'll go. But yeah, so that's been the structures and that's been the villages. It's a lot going on. A lot going on, and to be honest with you, either I'm dumb or some of it just doesn't work. Be careful with the deny blocks is one thing I'd say. There's a lot of chances for bugging to happen to your world. Be very careful of where you're placing things. And yeah, hopefully you'll be able to get something from this. Let's go and have a look at the brand new blocks that you get in this add-on. So we'll try and breeze through this a little bit quickly, but first of all, we have a big medieval table. Oh look, Alice has followed us because she is recruited. Let's get rid of that and send her back, thank you. So we get this big medieval table on here, and when you place it down, it does become a multi-block thing. I don't believe it is an entity, which is cool, so that's nice. We also have a long medieval table, we have a medieval bench, and we have a medieval chair. We also end up with a rattan chair, a rattan bench, and a long rattan table, along with 6 mini tables. So there's a floor table, a rattan table, a tatami table, a desert table, a medieval table, and a steampunk table. If we carry on over here, we can also see there is a long tatami table and a tatami chair. We get desert chair, desert bench, and long desert table. There is a long steampunk table, steampunk bench, and steampunk chair, along with a steampunk wall cabinet. Now, one thing that I thought was very cool here, but it can be a little bit fiddly, is if you just have a random vanilla block and you try to place it down, let's see if it does it, it will make it into like a mini display block on here for you. And, you know, it can be any block that you want it to be, really. So if we grab oak planks, place that down, it'll do that. What happens if we grab ourselves a diamond as well? So we'll grab We can grab a diamond block, and we can grab an actual diamond if I can find it. There it is. So a diamond block, when we place it down, you get like a nice little mini block of diamond, which is cool. These are the mini blocks I like right here. And then we get a diamond that can place down on here too. And if we was to get like a stack, do they stack? That'd be so awesome if they do. Let's go here. No, they don't stack. You can place one down at a time, but you can place multiple on the side. Now, obviously, what if you want to do a block on top and you don't want it to mini block? So what we'll do, get rid of that, interact with that, we'll pick it back up. If I crouch and place, you can still place the full block. So that's some good interactivity there. I like that. That can also be done on pretty much any table, by the way, not just the one table. It can be done on any table that you like. We also have some statues. So these are the big, I can't pick block them for some reason. That's not very helpful, is it? Where is it on here? So these are, we have it's up here. We have a knight sculpture and we have a copper sculpture. So we have the one knight sculpture, which can do 3 different poses. You can interact on it to change its pose. And those are the 3 poses. Got this one over here as well. And then we've got the copper sculpture, which is exactly the same. 3 different poses. One of them has movement on the front. One of them has, or 2 of them have movement on the back. And again, you can interact with them and it will let you cycle through which one you have. These are really cool, and I really like movement in Minecraft. I think that's nice. Next up, we also have then the steampunk wall cabinet, which you can't seem to interact with in terms of putting anything on there. And sometimes when breaking it, it can be a bit 50-50 on whether or not it's going to break. So just bear that in mind. Carrying on, we have a steampunk griller. And we have a big steampunk griller. And one thing we can check here is if we grab pork, for instance, that one there, raw pork chop. Can't seem to place it down on there. And if we go to flint and steel, can we cook with it? No, I can't turn it on either. Let me see what the book says. Unfortunately, the book says absolutely nothing about any of these blocks that have been added. So yeah, another case of the book being outdated. It's disappointing because there's so much here that I like. I like that none of these appear to be entities. I really like the different villages and stuff, but it's just not polished and it's not up to date in that sense to give us the information that we need. We do also have a desert griller, a Japanese griller, and a medieval griller. Then we get medieval signs, and there are 5 different versions of these signs, which again, if you click on them, you'll cycle through them nice and easy right there. So I think that was the 5th one. We do get Japanese signs, of which there are 3, and again, you can cycle through them here nice and easy. And then we also have this one, which is a desert sign, 3 more, which you can cycle through, and then a steampunk sign, which has 2 variations, and again, you can cycle through those as well. Can't help but think this guy's doing a really naughty hand gesture. But anywho's, we'll carry on. After that, we then have a medieval wall cabinet, which we saw earlier. You cannot interact and put anything in. And then we have a sweet berries in a pot, cherry tree pot, acacia tree pot, mechanical flower pot. And then lastly, we have a carpet chair and a big carpet chair. And if you interact with it, you can sit down. You can see it sat down and you can move around as you go, which is very nice. And then once again on here, you can do that here too. And you sit pretty much central on that. I don't know if that's directional. If I click here, for instance, yes, it is. So you can have, I guess, 6 to 9 people sat on here, depending on how you want it to go. And you can move around and have a nice little conversation. So those are all of the different blocks that you get. And again, there's some good stuff here, but it just feels really clunky again. I really like the statues, though. I think they're cool. Let's have a look at all of the new weapons that you get in this add-on. Now, in regards to the weapons, I'm going to say this at the beginning. This is meant to be a villagers add-on. I'm not really a fan of add-ons adding in a lot of extra fluff. So yeah, but we will showcase them. So we do end up with an archaic dagger, which you can see is held on that reverse handle there. We get a artifact katana, which also seems to have a sheath. We have an carbon hammer. I don't know why I said an. We have a carbon hammer on here. We've got a cavalry's whistle. a combat vambrace, a copper flute, a dark iron hammer, and a frosted dagger. And then over here as well, we also have a sheriff's whistle. Now, if we was to interact with a sheriff's whistle, makes a noise, and it brings us this guy who don't really know who you are. It's a horse. How you doing, mate? You right? I can ride this horse. Don't need a saddle. He's basically my horse straight away. So I get myself a nice little horse. Thank you very much. Then the frosted dagger, if we interact with it, we get a nice little swipe to it. The dark iron hammer, if we interact with it, we don't get anything. If we head over here, does it interact like a normal hammer? Let's go into survival. I'm going to break that. What we're looking for is, does it break a 9x9 area? Well, this guy doesn't even look like it wants to break any sort of block. So I think it's more of a weapon than it is a tool. So just remember that. And if we head back over here, the copper flute, if we play it, what does it do? Nothing. Maybe I've got music turned off and it plays music. I don't know. I'm not turning on music. Combat vambrace. Can't do anything with that. Cavalry's whistle, if we blow that, gives us another horse. Thank you very much. Carbon hammer, no interaction. Artifact katana has this big swipe and gives us an effect. And then the archaic dagger has another swipe. If we look at them, the archaic dagger is a +7, +6 for the artifact katana, +6 for the carbon hammer, +7 for the combat vambrace, +6 for the dark iron hammer, and +7 for the frosted dagger. And then if we get rid of all of these on here, we can then go and see the next batch. So we end up with a Midas Touch glove. We get a meowVity. We get a meow to type rev 0.2 and a meowcha. We get a, it won't let me pick it for some reason. We get leather combat gloves. We get a heirloom katana. And we get a gold flute. We also get a synoptic staff. We get ourselves a healer's hat, which if I put that on, it's just a hat. Doesn't really give me any interactive ability. Can't do anything on that. The book will be good for looking at these, because it will tell you. We get a healer's leather hat as well, which again, nothing really looking like it's doing anything here. I can just switch them out, so fair enough. But yeah, nothing being said there. We also have a shadow scarf, which I can wear, and again, doesn't really say anything on there either. And then we have two shields. We have the brass coated shield, which if I crouch, comes across me like so. Like so. Very nice. Very cool. Thank you. And then lastly, we get the reinforced shield, which again comes across us like so, which can be quite nice there too. And then, so was there anything I missed? No. If we look at the synoptic staff, if I interact with it, doesn't do anything. It has no information there either. Pretty much just attack with it. It's like a custom attack animation, which is quite nice. There's a gold flute, which if I interact with, plays a song continuously. Okay, fair dues. We then get the heirloom katana, which has a big swipe to the point that it threw me off the edge. So be careful on that one. And that is a +6 attack damage. Leather combat glove, which just seems to just be a punch. We get the meowcha, which, if I'm not mistaken, the meowcha... No, that didn't do what I wanted that to do. Don't really see what it's letting me do here. It's like a custom animation of a gun. Okay. What if we was to get ourselves a creeper on here? And then it would help if I placed it down, wouldn't it? Excuse me. We'll grab that onto here. Let's place this down on there. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Nothing on there. If I hit it... Ah, okay. So if I hit it, it shoots it away and blasts it off. Okay, fair dues. We get the Meowta type Rev 0.2. It's now active, which has done something to me there. I'm not too sure what. And it's already active. If I place that down. Don't really see what that does. There's meowVity. Oh, which seems to like push me back. Okay, and then we've got the Midas Touch, which we can change to diamond and gold. Okay, I may need to look at the book and see what some of these things do. So looking at a few of them of note, the healer's hat will give the wearer saturation and regeneration effects when remaining still for more than 10 seconds. The leather combat glove is just a basic attack which deals knockback or has a chance of knockback to the target. The Meauncher, which we saw, will launch mobs. The Meowta type grants a second life effect for 30 seconds, and the effect will be triggered when the player's HP reaches 4. Interesting. The MeowVity gives a knockback to any entities within the blast, and the Midas touch, each attack has a small chance of dealing an explosion, and if you charge it, i.e. press L2, it will change the texture and its particles from gold to diamond. The reinforced shield, when placed offhand, will grant the wearer resistance 2 for 8 seconds and trigger knockback ability that inflicts attackers or hostile entities with slowness. So a lot of information here. The Synoptic Staff has each attack inflicts random attacks. Yeah, okay, so a lot of information here in regards to each of the items. So they're not just simple attack animations. There are a few effects on here. I didn't see what the scarf does. I don't think it actually said it. Maybe it did and I just ignored it. Let's go again to items. No mention of a scarf here. Oh, Shadow Scarf. Triggers lifesteal effect once the player reaches less than 10 HP. Okay, not bad. Fair dues. So some very cool little effects here. But yeah, those are the weapons. And if we was to go to the anvil, just to do the last check. So if Midas Touch can be enchanted, I'd be very surprised if nothing else could. What about the Meauncher? The Meauncher can't. The Leather Combat Glove can't. Okay, proving me wrong straight away. Neither can the Heirloom Katana. Okay, so some of the items... No, hang on, I'm doing it wrong. That's why I'm an idiot. Let's carry on. Get rid of this. Let's go that one. All right, so the Meowta type Rev 2 can't. The Meauncher can. There we go. Would help if you clicked the right thing, wouldn't it, Daz? So a lot of the weapons, pretty much all of them really, can be enchanted. Okay, so a lot of weapons. Again, not necessarily something I'm too interested in. Let's go and see all the different items that you get in this add-on. Now, luckily, we seem to have seen most of these items already. So we'll start at the bottom. We get loads of different food. We get a potato bread, pumpkin soup, red velvet pie, samosa, shawarma. We get a shiitake tempura, sweet berry pie, wagyu sandwich, and wheat porridge. Apologies if I pronounce any of these words wrong. I think porridge was questionable. We get pizza margarita, onigiri. We get nejima yakitori, mutton curry, mushroom pizza, Maguro sushi, katsudon, iberico sandwich, grilled mutton, frozen sweet berries, dried glowberries. There's a dango. We also get a croissant, chocolate pudding, chicken biryani, cheesecake, carrot pasta, cacio e pepe. We get a beetroot salad. We get beef pitta. We get baklava, baguette, arancini, and we get aglio e olio. Fair dues. And if we was to eat these, let's go into, can we go into survival? Thank you. So if I try and eat these, didn't really do anything. I guess it just gives us saturation. Although we do get like a particle effect. So again, I'm wondering, do they give me some form of effect? If we head here, Chef's Cuisine, granting the saturation effect for 30 seconds. Consuming this food more than once will extend effect's duration. I don't know if that's all food. I'm assuming it is. You can eat them when you're not hungry, so that's cool. So Chef's Cuisine, that has to be food, like different meal types. So yeah, you get saturation effects. Farmer's Cook as well gives you the saturation effect. Dried Glowberries gives you strength 3 and the ability to inflict burn. Frozen Sweet Berries gives you resistance 2 and inflicts slowness 2. And then you end up over here with the vials. So we get Vial of Health, Vial of Jump, and Vial of Speed, which will just give you those effects. We've seen all of these over here, but these are the invitations. These are the Iron and Emerald. These are the Landmark Demolishers. So if you want to demolish a landmark, I'm guessing you just come over here, interact with it, and boom, it's now gone. And it took away all of the villagers as well. So just bear in mind, demolishing a landmark will take away the villagers that are tied to that, like so. It's a quick way to get rid of everything. And then lastly on here as well, we had the guild landmark and the village landmark. We also saw along here, there was another advanced villager there. We've got Alice, Elias, Hikaru, Lynx, and Midas. And then we've got the 18 different blueprints. So you can make an altar tower, an animal pen, an armorer, a big house, a fireplace, a garden, a large farm, a library house, a medium house, an outpost, a pond, a small farm, a small house, a stable house, a training camp, a watchtower, a weaponsmith, and then a well. And so, yeah, that's going to be it for the add-on, to be honest. I'm not going to have an experience section in this video, I don't think, because there's a lot going on and I don't really understand all of it. And I think there's some stuff for multiplayers and stuff. I think the basic thing to know is that you can place down villager landmarks. From those villager landmarks, you can recruit villagers. Some of them will follow you and can protect you and fight for you. Some of them will trade with you, and you can get quite a few different wandering traders appear who will also fight for you. And then there's a whole aspect of guilds and multiplayer, which I'm not too interested in. And then you get a ton of weapons and a ton of blocks. I think the add-on probably does a little bit too much fluff. There was bugs. I don't particularly like the idea of the deny block. And I think it's just a bit too complicated for me. But there's definitely a base of something here. I like the idea of new villages. I really like the structures behind me, the statues and stuff. So there is some stuff here that I like. And there's some stuff here that I don't. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. You guys probably use this a lot more than I do. So if you really do like this, do let me know in the comments. Please do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much to all of my channel members for suggesting content for Channel Members Tuesday. If you'd like to become a channel member, please do consider hitting the join button today. And you'll be able to suggest content for Channel Members Tuesday. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace!